what is going down? It's DJ Bubble here, and we're in a bit of a different location, as you can see. I'm just chilling out downstairs because it's actually cooler down here than it is. At the time we're streaming this, those of you who will know, the UK is going through like a massive heat wave, and today and tomorrow, which today is currently Monday, and Tuesday is supposed to be the worst day out of the 2 days where we're supposed to reach temperatures even leading on to like 40 degrees in some areas around Hull, which is the area where I live. I think we're going to get up to round about 36, 37 degrees tomorrow, and I think at the moment in Hull we're sort of round sort of 27 degrees upwards, maybe peaking into the 30s by now. I know when I checked this morning, which was probably about 10:30, we was round about the 27 degrees. So I would imagine by now into the afternoon, into the peak of the day, we've obviously gone up. So yeah, so I'm chilling in a different area today to stream this, and we've got the aftermath of Friday's private party. So for those of you who don't know, on Friday I was on Saturday, sorry, we've done Friday. Saturday I was booked for a 60th birthday party in Driffield, down at a place called the Blue Bell, which I'm very familiar with the venue itself. I've been to parties there before, not DJ'd them, but I've been to a few little do's there over the years. They've got a function room. The function room's been on the go for many years, and I think I remember going to a birthday party there, and this is going back a lot of years because I would only be a kid, and the party I went to obviously was for a kid who was actually even younger than me. And this kid is now sort of, grown up and probably over the age of 18. So all I can think is that it would have been maybe somewhere, I don't know, 2005, 2006, maybe before. I could even be 2004. So well over 10 years ago. More like nearly 15, 16, nearly going on 20 years ago, which is quite crazy. The pub has recently, in recent times, changed into more of a like Indian sort of styled restaurant where you get your usual curries, your naan breads. But they've still kept the function room at the back, and it still is under the name of Blue Bell as well. It's just kind of joined forces with this Indian place called Mishka, which I think it originally used to be located further into the town of Driffield. And yeah, so I was booked for a 60th birthday party, and this one was probably one of the most nerve-wracking ones that I've ever done. And the reason about it is because the information regarding the party was very limitless. They didn't, when they asked me about doing the party, there wasn't really much information that they gave me. Other than sort of like 70s, 80s, 90s, and into some newer stuff. And I was asking, they were supposed to send me a specific list of what they, any specific tunes that they wanted. And they just never ended up getting round to sending me them. I asked them a couple of times, and it actually got to the point where I was getting a little bit like, well, I need to know some form of information, because otherwise I'm going to be just playing a bit of anything here. And that's what it turned out to be. But it actually turned out to work really well. It was a 60th birthday, so they were just happy to eat their curry, have a little bit of a talk, and just have the music there in the background. It was kind of more like the music was more there for people that wanted it. If people wanted to dance and request, they could dance and request. It was, it was more like it was an option. It was there if they wanted it. If not, I'll just play whatever in the background. And they'll just talk and socialise, and they'll just do sort of what they want to do. if you like, and they'll just take it and they'll just go from there. Which was obviously, at first I was a little bit like, ooh, because I don't really know what they're really wanting. So I thought, well, it's a 60-year-old. They aren't gonna, they're gonna know a lot of the old bangers like, Disco Inferno and, you should be dancing and yes sir I can boogie. So I played all of them. Went into some 80s stuff as well. Some good tunes, and a few people were dancing throughout the night. There was an oldish woman that just had a nice little dance and a sing song. And it was a really enjoyable little atmosphere once I got into it. It was just sort of that worry at first when you haven't really been given much of an instruction, as opposed to, ooh, what do I really play here, because they've not really told me of anything in particular that they want playing. So that was like the nerve-wracking thing. So the party started at 7, and I finished about just not long after 11:30. It goes on. The party was supposed to take place until about midnight, but I think sort of 11:30, 11:45. They were quite the people that were working in the function room and stuff. That they were quite happy to start sort of tidying and cleaning up, and I was sort of told, look, you can just sort of, I think we're about finished here now. And they offered people to go into the main pub itself, if they wanted to carry on, obviously, having a few drinks, if, they didn't want to, obviously, finish up just yet, which, obviously, a few of them obviously did. So, yeah, it was really enjoyable. They was happy with the service I provided, which was a good thing. It was, that was enjoyable. So, I was pleased about that. That was obviously a good thing in itself. So I'm very, very excited, that it went well. It was a buzz, obviously, to do it. I played, like I say, a lot of different varieties. A bit of mixing, some house music as well. Just some light stuff like Bob Sinclair, Love Generation. Went into a little bit of I played one garage tune. I'll be honest, I played one garage tune. Which a guy hadn't heard it for a while, and he was actually quite buzzed about it. And then I went into Bob Marley, Funk Star Deluxe, Sun is Shining. Did a little bit of beat matching. I just thought it's always quite clever, I think, because when you do these kind of bookings, you don't really do too much actual mixing itself. It's more just kind of fade the track out, fade the next one in. So I always think like a little bit later on in the night, if you actually just beat match a couple of tracks and just show them that you're not just a guy who can play music. I always think it sometimes a little bit like, wow, he's beat matching, and that's what it did on Saturday night. A few people was like, whoa, we can actually mix as well, because like nightclub DJs and disco DJs, or mobile DJs and nightclub DJs are totally different. Nightclub DJs, you play a set. You don't go to a hardcore event and you don't fade the tunes in and out. And then go on the mic and go get your drinks at the bar. It's not that kind of atmosphere. Whereas when you do these parties, it is sort of fade the track in, fade the track out, fade the next one in. And sort of I had to make a couple of announcements through the night as well. One of them was I had to tell people later on that to not go back outside. We haven't got a license for people to sit and socialise outside. Apparently, when it got to like a certain time, they had to come inside. So I had to just say. So I was quite funny on the mic, to be honest. I could have just said like, "We got an announcement, people. Can we all please stay inside?" And I just went on, and I think I said something like, yes, people. Announcement. We've got to stay inside. We've been banned from the outside." So I just tried to make it a little bit funnier, a little bit more humour in there. I always think that makes a night go a bit more enjoyable. If they vibe that you're enjoying it, then they'll be like, oh, he's loving it, do you know what I mean? Rather than just stood there thinking, oh, I've got to do this. Which at some points I was thinking that because I was very tired. From the Friday, and I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple of times where I was just could not stop yawning, and I was thinking, I hope people don't see me yawning, thinking, oh, he's bored of this job. Do you know what I mean? Because that's not how it was. I just felt so. I don't even really know how to describe it, but I just felt so tired from Friday. Friday had like literally knackered me, and I'd woke up quite early on the Friday as well. And I wasn't in bed too late on the Thursday either. But because we just had quite a longish night there, and obviously it's quite warm as well, and then we ended up going on a little mooch round Cleethorpes after the event. Instead of actually coming straight home, because we got told there was going to be a little after party on the beach, and that turned out that we ended up just walking for ages. And then we ended up sort of singing tunes to a Bluetooth to a mobile phone in a bus stop. And then someone who we met actually called. She was calling a taxi because she'd given up on this whatever this after party was. And she said, "Look, jump in our taxi, and I'll get him to drop you back off near the car," which was back near the venue. So that was obviously very nice, you know. But yeah, so it like really tired me out, and then I only got like minimal sleep, and then I had to up because I was getting picked up with all the equipment. Which it would have been good if I could have been picked up like later on, like in the afternoon. But sadly, that just wasn't the thing. Sadly, so that was a little bit of a letdown. So it meant I had to sort of be up, and then once you're up and you get going and you get ready, it was one of them things. And then a bit later on, I did go and have a lie down. But then when it's kind of like you're thinking of time, and when it's on your mind and you're thinking like you don't really want to go to sleep because you don't want to go to sleep and then like not be able to wake up. But then at the same time you feel like you actually need a rest. So I had a little lie down, and then just as I was at that process, my eyes were I was just starting the doors, and then my tea was ready. So that kind of like screwed that up. So I got up and had my tea. And then after tea, it was more or less not really long before I had to get ready and then get my lift down to the venue to start setting up. I always give myself a good bit of time to make sure that I can get set up, because even though you might think you've got everything in hand, and I've set up my equipment 1,000 times, I know what I'm doing, I can do it in 10 minutes, you never know if you're going to run into any snags. Like not this party, but the party before I did in Driffield, I forgot an extension lead. Luckily I was only 2 minutes away, so I could run home and grab it. But at the same time, there was like plenty of time to spare before the party started, so obviously I had time to do it. Whereas if you went somewhere further afield and it wasn't just to walk around the corner, and it was about time to start, and you didn't have all your equipment ready, like it would make you look bad. You're not starting on time, and you never know. So if you set up early and you do run into any form of little snags, at least you have got that little bit of time to try and sort something. Maybe ask a venue, look, have you got a trailing socket, or a wire's gone down, or you can at least try and sort something. So I always like to give myself a good 45 minutes. So for example, if a party's starting at 7, I like to be there around the between 1/4 and 6:30, because it just gives me time to do what I need to do. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm absolutely really looking forward to doing more of these parties in the future. And this last party again, it was a shed load of fun. It just finished off what was a really good weekend, to be honest with you. So next up for me, I can't actually really remember what it is. I think I've got a little bit of like time where there isn't really anything much happening, and I think the next thing I've got is something with the band. I think that's the next thing. I think the rest of July for me now is clear. No gigs now in July. And then I think August I've got something with the band, which I'm looking forward to. I'll be announcing that very, very soon. So that's going to be good. And then September, I've got something that's not been announced yet, but it's going to get announced anytime now. They teased it on Facebook the other day, and there'll be a flyer coming very, very soon. And once the flyer comes, that's when I'll be able to sort of say, look, you know, I'm part of this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. you know. So it's a little bit moment. There's not like really much going to be happening. A little bit of time off until the band. I mean, obviously things can come in. There is a private party in August. I did forget. It's on the. Oh, is it on the? Oh, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. I think. I think I've double booked. Right. I'm just trying to think about this now. We're back. Sorry, my phone did that thing that it always does when it gets to 20%. Yeah, I think I might have double booked, but I think it might be alright. Um, I've just got to confirm because I think on the same day as this private part, the band, but what I'm doing with the band, I believe, is during the day. So I'm thinking I can maybe shoot off round about tea time from whatever I'm doing with the band. Would give me chance to get sorted. Because, you know, packing up the gear wise, I could get that all packed up the day before. Because if I'm going to be at the festival all day, ooh, hint in there. If I'm going to be with the band all day, I'm not going to be using the equipment at home. So it won't matter if it's boxed up and ready to go. So I'm just thinking, but I'm going to have to double check. But I think I might have possibly double booked. If it's something I can sort out, then we're all gravy. But yeah, anyway, this week's antics, not antiques, antics, antics, really good. Private party, all smashed in. Wizards of the Core, smashed in. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'll see you in the next stream. Yeah, I think I have double booked myself.